Hey guys, hope you're doing well. My name's Jack, and in this video we're doing an update on ICP. Let's dive in. Before we get in, just want to apologize. I haven't been very active in the last couple of days. I just moved over to Buenos Aires in Argentina, so it's just been a couple of days getting back into the swing of things. But anyway, here we are. So ICP then. So we're just looking at the chart of ICP against the dollar on the weekly time frame, and in fact, we have seen a warning sign flash here, guys, in the last couple of days that has not signaled for quite a while, and that is the fact that we recently, for those of you that follow this channel a lot, you know that we follow this EMA band on the weekly time frame quite a lot. And basically, when the price is above the EMA band on the weekly, generally speaking, we're looking at long-term bullish trends. If price is below, you're looking at sort of downward trends. And right now, we are currently below this. Now, there is 4 days left before the close, but even last week, if you see, we did in fact close below our EMA band last week on Sunday. So I'm not going to lie, guys, that is quite a negative signal. If we're looking back to the last time that happened, we closed below here in June, and obviously we followed through to the downside. I'll show you a couple of other examples. Let's look at Chainlink, because basically we've got more price history there. So look, we fell down, we closed below it in April, and more downside followed. If we look back again to 2021, we closed below it and more downside followed. It's not 100% accurate. There's one example where it closed below, but eventually bounced back up. But again, it was not that long-lived. So you can see that sometimes there's false signals, but generally speaking, it is quite a powerful signal, the weekly EMA band. So I'm just letting you know, guys, that this has now flashed on ICP and could potentially signify more downside, although it's one indicator among many. So hypothetically then, if we do in fact lose this EMA band, where could we actually go? Well, basically, guys, for me, you've got your support here at $6.80. That is major support, and it goes back quite a while. It's the low that we made here in sort of the summer of this year, and it's also the highs that we made in 2022/2023. So this is major support, and I would expect ICP to see a reaction from this level, whether that's a sustained rally or a short-term bounce. That would be your target. Now, what would change this is if we can see ICP find support here, get a wick to the downside, and break back above this EMA band, that would invalidate this scenario. For the moment, it is a possibility, and I'm just highlighting the fact that it is possible. Although the other side of it is if Bitcoin just goes on a run. Now, right now, Bitcoin is sort of struggling at this major resistance level. You can see this trend line we've had here for literally years. Bitcoin is now up here trying to battle its way through it. Right, we do have potentially a double top forming, although it does need another 4 days to close. So I think what's going to make it or break it, guys, if Bitcoin can actually break above and stay above this trend line, then we're going to see that reflected in ICP, and that will invalidate that bearish pattern that we've just been tracking there on ICP. However, if Bitcoin actually rejects this level and needs to come back down here, obviously I think that would be the catalyst to send ICP to one of those lower levels. For the moment, yeah, it's crunch time. We need to just see what's going to happen here. It's either going to, if Bitcoin breaks above this level and actually closes above it and has a convincing close above it, then that ICP bearish scenario would be invalidated. But again, if it actually rejects here, then that's what you could be looking at. But generally speaking, I don't like to be in assets when we see the candles closing below the weekly EMA band. Even on the 2-day time frame, I really don't like it because for me, I don't really have a place to have my stop loss if we're below our EMA bands here, because generally I use the EMA band as my stop loss. And obviously when we're below it, unless you're just dollar cost averaging blindly, I generally like to wait until we actually see the reversal. So one other pattern I'm currently tracking here on ICP is that we've currently got this downsloping trend line of resistance and this upsloping trend line of support here. So again, it's similar sort of setup to Bitcoin there. If we see a break above this trend line, that would activate some bullish targets, potentially up to $15. If we break below this trend line, that would basically activate your target there to $6. That's sort of $7 level, let's call it. Okay, but just to summarize, guys, as we stay below this 2-day EMA band here, downside is the more probable outcome until we actually break above that convincingly. Additionally, on the 4-hour time frame, if we just swap this down and put our 200 SMA on, which is our, if we're looking at our grey line here, generally when we're below this grey line, downside is the more probable outcome. Now, this recent pattern we've been in has given us a couple of fake outs, false signals, which I do apologize for, but it's one of those things. Generally speaking, it is quite a good indicator and generally keeps us on the right side of the market. When we're below the 200 SMA on the 4-hour, it continues to the downside. When we're above it, it continues to the upside. So basically, this has just been a choppy range, and it does mean sometimes you're going to get these false signals. And to be honest, guys, in general, the altcoin market has been difficult, and I think I can feel a lot of people's frustration across Twitter, across YouTube comment sections. This cycle has been very different for altcoins, whereas it's only been a very select few that have actually been running consistently. Whereas obviously in 2021 and cycles before, basically you just bought your altcoin and they all went to the moon. But this time it's been choppy, right? And that's why I think if you were just buying and holding, it's not a good environment for that. That's why I need to use these EMA bands to keep me safe. So when I'm above the EMA band, we're buying. When we're below it, we are not buying until we actually see that reversal. And you do pay for this, guys. Sometimes you get these fake outs, right, where we break out and we're looking to buy back in, but then it immediately just comes back below. And that's just part of it. I'm happy to lose, 5-10% here doing this and not get absolutely wiped out like a lot of people have this cycle. So I think whether you follow this strategy or you follow another one, having a point that you can have your stop loss, your invalidation is going to be crucial in the cycle, in my opinion. But I do believe that everyone has gotten very bearish on altcoins. Everyone has gotten very pessimistic. And a lot of people are sort of giving up and they're just switching back to Bitcoin or Solana. And to be honest, guys, that's how the market works, Like, it makes you fed up and it makes people capitulate on their altcoins and sell their bags and give up. But normally, when everyone has given up, that's the point at which Bitcoin dominance actually drops and your altcoins actually go off on a run. So maybe it'll happen this time, maybe not. But again, that's what my gut tells me, and that's what experience in the market tells me. When everyone else is getting fed up and depressed, that's usually when the market actually does turn around. So I'm going to leave this video here. If you did get some value from it, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking the notification bell, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.